if she was to take off her shirt and put on a running gear, you see all how she's been cut up. Oftentimes, you don't see the muscles on the external side, but you see the muscles internally because of everything that you had to go through in life. Every storm, every setback, and even your victories make you cut up. If I was to say, ask Mel to come up here and do push-ups, she could probably give me like 50 straight. She's been trained to stretch and get ready for the race. But if I was to pull back some of you all who have the walker and who have to have a cane to get in here, you would tell me, Sean, I got to do some push-ups too. It's not always in the physical, it's oftentimes in the spiritual that we have to curl some stuff to make us stronger. We got to do some chin-ups when it comes to this word, and we got to do some sprints when it comes to some of the things that we go through. So today we're going to come from the subject of don't allow small stuff to derail your destiny. An angel already preached the closing, so I might have to hang. When she came out with that scripture, she already preached the closing, so I might just hand her the mic and she can bring us home. Is that all right? All right, so the title for today is Don't Allow the Small Stuff to Derail Your Destiny. And that's only confirmation when it happened. Amen. Hebrews chapter 12. We're coming from two chapters today, and I want you to make sure you keep your fingers at both. Amen. It's 12:08. And I got 30 minutes to get this done. I got 7 pages, so I mean I gotta sprint through it because 5 minutes a page. All right? Amen. Hebrews, the clock don't stop till I read the scriptures, right? All right. Hebrews chapter 12, starting at the first verse, and we're coming out of Joshua as well. Hebrews chapter 12, Joshua chapter 1. Everybody have Hebrews chapter 12? It says, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witness, let us lay every weight. Somebody say every. If you have a Bible, underline every. If you have your iPad, phone, highlight every. And the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run, right? Now let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Verse number 2 says, looking into Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. Watch this. Despising the shame. And is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. It was interesting. That's the first time, Pastor, that throne of God ever stood out to me when I was reading this. And it's interesting when you go back to Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16. You don't have to do it. Look at it later. In Hebrews 4:16, it says, let us therefore come boldly into the throne of grace. Verse number 2 in Hebrews chapter 12 says, and he sat down on the right hand of the throne of grace. Is where Jesus sit. In Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16, it says, let us therefore come boldly into the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in times of need. Angels just talk about times of need. The writer here is pleading for the people to tap into the throne of grace. It is in the throne of grace where his presence and his power lies. The power lies. We need more power, don't we? Tell the person beside you, this is the only time I'm going to ask you to do it. Tell the person to your side next to you, say, we need more power. If Jesus is set at the right hand of the throne of grace, and that's at the throne of God, I want to be in the same place of Jesus. The writer here wants us to be in the presence of God, so we can so God can manifest in our everyday lives. He wants us to be able to be in his presence all times, in all places. He wants us to refrain from religious outbursts. Just coming to church just to run around but have no meaning behind it. Some people are just, they're professional shouters. They know what to say when they come to church, how to do it. But when they leave church, they just like a little sissy. They ain't got no word on them, but they have some religious outbursts. They come to church for tradition. But the writer here wants folks to have an intimate relationship with our Heavenly Father. When you have an intimate relationship with Him, you can feel Him breathing on you, and He should feel you breathing on Him. Joshua chapter 1 says, now after the death, we're going to Joshua chapter 1. Everybody turn to Joshua chapter 1 really quick. Now, everybody in chapter 1 of Joshua. I told you we're going to be going to some scriptures. Y'all stay with me. I promise you, you're going to be out here in 30 minutes, or I'm going to sit down before we finish. Joshua chapter 1 says, now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister. It's amazing how God said he was Moses' minister, not his minister. Saying, Moses, my servant, is dead. Now therefore go arise this Jordan. What is your Jordan? It's some things in our life that's dead. And we're trying to bring it back to life, but it's dead. Those bad relationships, those bad jobs, those bad decisions, we're trying to bring bad things to life. God said, my servant is now dead. Come on. Now therefore arise, go to this Jordan. What is your Jordan today? Your Jordan can be that test this week. Your Jordan can be that bully in school this week. There's some folks that get bullied face to face and online. And those the joys that I hate the most, those sissy joys they hide behind a computer. If I was to ask some of the young folks, they say, yeah, I got some sissy behind email, texting Jordans. That they pick stuff out on you negatively and try to talk about you. I was ministering to a couple on Friday night, and she's so frustrated because the baby daddy and mama opened up some Craigslist accounts and put her face and personal number on Craigslist and said she was like wanting to have sex with people. The baby mama tripping. So we got internet bullies that would discredit you. What's your Jordan? It says, thou and all these people into the land which I do give you, even to the children of Israel. Edward Cole, which is the founder of the Christian Men's Network, he has a saying. He says, you don't drown by falling in the water. You drown by staying there. Edward Cole says, you don't drown by jumping in the water. You drown by staying in the water. All of us, time after time, have had situations where we felt like we were drowning, Deacon Whitlow. Drowning in despair, drowning in hurt, drowning in confusion, loss of loved ones. I know it's the holiday season and we still haven't gotten over it. But in Joshua, he says, my servant is dead. You got some memories there. Live on the memories. You think it ain't hard that my dad hasn't been here all these years? I miss my dad. I wish I had my dad in the corner saying, go ahead, preach, boy. But he's dead. So I got to live on the memories. Somebody say, get out the water. I think that was a go-go song. Get out the water. Oh, get in the water. Get in the water. We can't use that example. Chris, you know too good of a go-go. I thought it was getting out the water. All right. Other times I feel like we're in 12 feet of water. You feel like you're in 12 feet of water. Ain't nobody here 12 feet. But when you look around, you were only in 3 feet. I know firsthand what it feels like to be in 12 feet of water and trying to hold my breath. I shared this message with my son yesterday. I was trying to plant some seeds in there while he was cooking some breakfast. He said, Dad, you know, sometimes people like staying in 12 feet. And that's what the message is. Don't allow small stuff to control you, from stop you from getting to your destiny.
That's right.
In studying this life of Joseph, Pastor, I remember Pastor gave me a book of Joseph years ago. I was perplexed when I was studying this because of the method of God, how God used certain things to build Joshua up. Anybody can be a leader, but Joshua was a leader. All of us are leaders of something. You're leaders of goldfish, a cat, dog, something. But the problem is everybody is not effective leaders. As Christians, we should be strong leaders. I remember the other day I was driving my car and I saw a line of kids. They had the teacher up front and the teacher in the back, had this long rope, and like 12 kids was holding on the knot of each rope. And they were walking across the street. I said, don't that look so cute? But true leaders will take them to the corner. Say, stop, look at the sign. The sign said, the light is green, you don't move when it's green. You only move when it's red and you can see the people stop. That's what a true leader do. It ain't about following leaders and holding on to a rope. Hey, look, this is what you do, because if you don't do it, you're going to get yourself killed. We have people who tie ropes and have people say, follow me, but they ain't following the right thing. Johnson was a man, a character. So everybody knows the famous song on the battle of Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, right? The song speaks to the battle. Joshua was a servant. He was a man of great faith. He was a man of great courage. He was a godly leader and inspired holiness. He was also a prophet. Joshua served as an example to believers of how humility and devotion and faith can empower us to be great leaders for God. What most people don't know, Joshua became the successor of Moses, right? And led the Israelites to the promised land. And that was not an easy undertaking. Leaders come out on Thursday night and you got to deal with people who complain about the parking lot being dark. That's all you got to say is why we ain't got no light on the parking lot. But as leaders, you got to stand there and take it like a soldier.
Go ahead.
But I have learned how to zip up to my mouth. Because when people complain like that to the leaders, I might say, won't you give some more so we get the lights fixed? Won't you be at least satisfied that you got a place to go that has light and heat, that you can worship God? Getting quiet in here, Pastor. Just imagine Joshua had the children, the Israelites, holding on to a rope and said, we're going to walk around. He showed them how to do things. When you took that step and you said, you know what, God, I'm all in it for you. You basically said, I'm all in. And I'm going to go through some good and bad things. But I'm going to be a soldier. And I'm going to stand here. And people are going to see some characteristics in me. We're talking about Moses, who he took over. On the Mount of Sinai is where I believe he gave him the law and the tablets, and God blessed him on the Mount of Sinai, right? Moses was so strong, like what's that? Mount Rushmore. That if you had a Mount Rushmore, Moses was so strong back then and there that he would be the only face on the mountain. No other face could have been beside Moses because he was the man. They loved Moses. Let's go to Joshua 1. Y'all flip back to Joshua 1. Y'all gonna walk with me? Now watch this. The first thing in Joshua, this is his book, named after Joshua. It says, now after the death of Moses. This book started with bad news. His first day on the job, he had to deal with Moses being dead. That's like going to your job the first day, they fired everybody. You ain't got no training schedule. You ain't got nothing. You walk into the job, mother, and you by yourself. Moses dead now. It says, he said, the servant of the Lord came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Moses mentioned. Moses, my servant, is now dead. He wanted to hear from him that I ain't going to do no miraculous healing here. He's gone. Some days when you lose stuff in your life, it's for the good. And it ain't coming back. So God put it right here in the book. He's gone. He ain't coming back. Some things that left you and some things that disappoint you, it's gone. Watch this. He says, God said, now. In the same verse, now, which is, because I'm learning, I'm back in school now. I'm going to brag on myself. My first grade I got was a D. And it was a low D. I didn't creep back. I'm at 3.0 now. So I'm going to shout myself. In my last test, my last class I was in, I got an A. And Sean, and it's funny, Sean and Debbie sitting right beside me. They normally do my resumes. They normally do my job performance reviews. They get emails in the middle of the day. Can you prove this? I don't do that no more. We serve a good God. But I thank him for them helping me out for years. See, some folks don't know what goes on behind the scenes. People that make you look good. And I praise God for them. Now watch this. It says, God said now, which is an adverb, meaning present tense or at this moment. Right? Therefore rise. In other words, get up. Don't allow small stuff to derail your destiny. Go over this Jordan. What's your Jordan today? This situation. Thou all the people into the land that I give you, even the children of Israel, even the children of deliverance. Verse number 3 says, every place the sole of your feet shall tread upon, that I have given it to you unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even into the great rivers. What he's saying is, I'm giving you everything. We serve a more than and a greater than God. He gives you all of this, but we got to step in it. But we got to get in his throne. We got to get in his presence. But because of small things that keep us back, keep us in lonely places. He says, great rivers, the rivers of the Hittites, whatever, all over the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea, towards the going down of the sun, shall be your coast. Endless territory. Walk in your destiny. Step in your destiny. I went to the enemy camp, mother, and I took back what he stole from me. When I learned that song at the fish house, I used to be a bad son of a gun there, boy. I used to be the middle of the floor. I went back. Because I was fighting for my life back then. I took back what he stole from me, my peace and my joy and my happiness. Take back what God gave you. Verse 5 says, there shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of their lives. I got a couple of witnesses in here that, yes, even though I went through some storms, but he's been with me all the days of my life. I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I would not fall thee, I would not forsake thee. I feel like running like Sean Ricks. Sean got something to shout about, run about. Y'all be laughing and running around, but her mom is doing better. Sometimes we got to run over that sea, over that Jordan. Every time I see her, I'll be up here shouting with her. Run, girl, run, Joe. I'm sorry. strong and of good courage. Verse number 6, verse number 7 says, and only be thou very strong and courageous. But in the same verse it says, remember the word. Remember the word. During the good times and bad times. Recently I read an article in USA Today. And it was talking about the weight capacity of an airplane. I used to be scared of flying, but now I love to fly. I can't wait to fly. Because it can give you peace until the turbulence comes. You see how wonderful God is until the turbulence comes. I'll be smiling until that turbulence comes. And oftentimes I got to go to the west coast. That means I got to go through the mountains. So I know the turbulence is coming. And it's amazing how you can be so peaceful. And when you get to a certain destination, the plane stop rocking. And it make you lose, make you pray a little harder, which is just like our life. Saying, gotta pray a little harder sometimes. But what I learned in this article in USA Today, it says, the plane cannot take off safely if it's overweight. Some airlines, you think they just left your bag or lost your bag. Some airlines will not put your bag on the plane because it's overweight. In order for the pilot to get the plane up, it has to be removed. In order for our lives to get to where we need to be, we got to remove some stuff. God told Joshua to let go of dead things. Let it go. Get rid of all the negativity that's in your life. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 12. This is where our scripture is really going to be based on. I'm out of here. I got 15 more minutes. Angel, when 15 minutes come, you pull my coat. You sit down. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 1. Pastor here, it's another time I struggle. Because all along I've been teaching and preaching that the weight and the sin was the same thing. The weight and the sin is not, and the writer clearly distinguished the difference between the weight and the sin. Hebrews chapter 12 verse 1 says, wherefore seeing we all confess about with so great a witness, let us. It's amazing how the writer, who was writing this, put himself in the picture. All of us have weights in our lives. That's why last week I asked you all that normally the preachers come down and the mothers come down and pray. I said, why don't y'all come pray for the preacher? Because they got weights in their lives too. It says, lay aside every weight, everything that is troubling you. Remember this. If you don't remember anything else, God sometimes won't move until you move. Last month I talked about divine sovereignty versus human responsibilities. And I talked about Lazarus when Jesus came and he says, Lazarus, get up. Get out of here. But then he looked around and said, who's going to move the stone? As born again believers and God, you got the right to go to the throne and he would do it. But it's some things that you got to do. That's divine sovereignty versus human responsibility. It's not just sin that's holding us back. You can have a handicap or an impediment that's stopping you from getting to where you're going. So how do I break this down in layman's terms? I'm going to use male today. Give a picture out. Let me show the picture later. After tell the story. Pastor Coach, when he was preaching this, he talked about two men who were preparing for a race. Both of them wanted to win the race. The night before, one of the runners got high on some drugs. So he missed the race. That's the sin. The other guy went to sleep, Mel. He took his protein shake the night before. He went to sleep really early, like they teach you in school. Took a nice hot bath. Got up the next morning. Took another hot bath. Stretched. But he got his stuff for the race. If we look at Mel, I'll show you the picture later. If you look at Mel in the picture that I have, she got a little thin shirt on, some thin shorts on, some socks. But this runner had some Timberland boots on, and an overcoat, and a scarf on. And he was ready to run. The one that smoked the weed lost the race because that was a sinful act. If you ask Mel said, you can't win a race wearing Timberland boots or some Ugg boots. You can't do it. It won't work. But the second guy, he was ready, Deacon Whitlow. He prayed. His wife laid his hands on him. They said, baby, you're going to win. But he had on the wrong gear. And he had on the wrong gear that was overweight. So he couldn't run to win the race. You can be saved, sanctified, ready to go to heaven, all set, ready to go. But if you got some weight, it slows you to get into your destiny. You can't win the race with no Timberlands on. Watch this, watch this. Both runners ready. We got to get rid of those sin and the weight. Let us lay aside that stuff. Watch this. We got to get rid of certain things. We got to get rid of the complaining weight. Learn how to call those things. We got Christians, all they do is complain, Janet. All they do is complain. That's a weight. That's a weight. Romans 4:17 says, as it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations. Before him whom he has been believed, even God who quickened the dead, that calleth those things which be not as though they were. Speak God's word versus what you're seeing. Oh, I can't get there. I can't feel it. That weight is stopping you from getting you to your blessings. Watch this. Get rid of negativity. Angel just talked about it. Get rid of negativity weight. No, negativity is the symptom of complaining. A person that always sees the glass half empty. Don't fall into the trap of negativity. Morris West states, he says, if you spend your life waiting for the storm, you never enjoy the sunshine. John Mason says, choose your way of thinking and you change your life. Avoid lengthy thinking about your past. Your past is behind you. My boy Paul says in 3:13 of Philippians says, brother, I count not myself to be apprehended. But this one thing, if you don't know anything about Paul, he said, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which is behind me, and reaching forward to those things which are before me. The next thing, you need to get rid of some ignorant people. We got ignorant people in our lives. Some of us are broke, depressed, sad, because your inner circle is full with ignorant people. Paul Moore talked about the cat and the bird in his backyard. He loved his cat, but he used to get frustrated when the cat bring the bird in the house. He wasn't mad at the cat. He was mad at the bird. The cat can possibly get in the tree, but the cat can't fly. How can a cat catch a bird? And sometimes we're caught up because we're with ignorant people and the devil just has us in his mouth. Get rid of excuses, wait. Jesus asked the man one question. What do you want? Or how do you want? Do you want to be made whole? And he gave him all excuses. He ain't asked him for no excuse. He asked him a question. Do you want to be made whole? John Mason says the most unprofitable item ever manufactured is an excuse. Do you believe that God has something better for you? So go after it. Greg Estabrook, in his book, The Progress Paradox, he says how life gets better while people feel worse. Best houses, best cars, flat screen TV. In my study, mother, I heard that 70% of the people years ago who had outhouses was happy then than now. Book, the Proverbs of Prayer, that's how life get better, while people feel worse. Paul says in Philippians chapter 4, now that I speak of respect of once, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, there to be content. Got 5 minutes to go, and we out of here. Contentment is the prescription for happiness. The best kept secret that keeping Christians from a true happiness is discovering the true meaning of contentment. Oh yeah, I want steak, but I got a burger. Paul was writing these words from the jail. He's not telling us to settle for less, because we serve a greater and a more than type of God. But we got to be content. This contentment will destroy your joy, your peace, and your happiness. The grass is not always green on the other side. It's not always greener on the other side. Trust me, I have made some bad mistakes because I thought the grass was greener on the other side. But God quickly showed me that it really is not the case. Money is not happiness. My last job, I was making way more money than I was making right now. But I wasn't happy. The grass is not always greener on the other side. I'm just saying. But I do miss the money. Watch this. I'm joking. Because God, even on the other side, got 3 more minutes, God is still allowing me to do everything before I had the money and when the money was gone. And I'll take his healing power and his healing blessing and his peace blessing and his joy blessing and his happiness blessing and his smile. I took all that blessing for what I lost. Because in all truth and all out of reality, it wasn't enough for some extra money to give back to the government. Last week at the men's conference, my friend Keith Battle was posing questions to Isaiah Thomas, a Hall of Famer basketball player who has gained great wealth. 2 more minutes, great wealth. And he asked Isaiah, he said, Isaiah, what will you do to change about your life? He paused for a second. He said, Pastor Keith, he looked. He said, you know what, Pastor Keith? I like this guy. I like the guy that God made for me. I like me. And I say, wow, we got to love ourselves. Yes, we don't have everything that we want. Yes, we're going through, but you got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, who gonna love you? In my closing, Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brother, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest. True, number 1. Honest, number 2. Whatsoever things are just. Number 3. Whatsoever things are pure. Number 4. Whatsoever things are lovely. Number 5 says, whatsoever things of good report. If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these 5 things. When you get depressed, go into that depressed state for just a quick second and think about 5 things that God has done for you. He said, think of those things that's true and honest and just and pure. We got to learn how to flip the script, Jazz. The keys to a 5-star life, 1 more minute to go, is figuring out how to connect what's inside of me. When I can't control on what's happening on the outside of me. It's a 5-star life, Kenny. It's figuring out how to control what's inside of me when I can't control what's happening on the outside. The serenity prayer out of here says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things that I can. Wisdom to know the difference. Loving one day at a time. Enjoying one moment at a time. Accepting hardships as a pathway to peace. Taking, as he did, the simple word as it is. Not as I would not have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will and step in his throne. I added that. That I may be necessary happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever. 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 Leave the weights at the altar. Don't allow the weight to stop you from getting to your destiny.
Come on, man.
Oh, I'm done. God bless.